3. Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Higgins from Higgins Storm Chasing. It is the 22nd of the 12th, 2015. Okay, in this video we'll have a look at the monsoon trough, activity up for northern parts of Australia, the tropical low in the Gulf, expected and anticipated formations of a tropical cyclone in the Gulf, where it may or may not go. There's still a high degree of uncertainty now. Models are juggling around a lot. And the monsoon trough down the coast here to affect North Tropical Queensland. Okay, on the weather zone current water vapour loop, you can see, and radar, you can see the monsoon trough stretching across here through northern parts of Australia to a tropical low, which is located just over land here in the southwestern Gulf district. This monsoon trough has already been delivering widespread areas of rain and thunderstorms across the top end, all the way from Cooktown through the Gulf and certainly through parts of Northern Territory and northeastern Western Australia there. We also have a trough down here through southern parts of Western Australia, bringing showers, thunderstorm and rain areas just north of Kalgoorlie there. You can see the lightning strikes. And this low-level trough feature here through central parts of New South Wales has delivered some amazing falls, actually, higher than anticipated. So this trough here is continuing to bring rain, not many storms in it, but rain to parts of central New South Wales. This is expected to move towards the north over the next few days. There are showers and thunderstorms also expected to form along the north New South Wales, southern Queensland border parts over the next few days, which we'll get on to. Okay, so for now, I guess the biggest Christmas present of all is the anticipation of rain through drought-affected parts of northern Australia. You can see here on the next 4-day outlook from the Bureau of Meteorology, these rainfall totals are nothing to be sneezed at. Anywhere from Townsville to Mount Isa north, extending there through Northern Territory, you're looking at 50 to 300 millimetres there. Obviously 300 millimetres in isolated parts along coastal areas, through there around Darwin, the NT, and down the North Tropical Queensland coast. If we were to move on to the next 4-day, that's out to Christmas Day, by the way. You can see there is activity down here between now and Christmas Day through southern parts of Queensland, southeast Queensland and New South Wales, which we'll get onto in a different video and obviously forecast post. To move on to the next 4 days after that, which is Boxing Day through to the 29th of the 12th, you can see that the tropical low / potential cyclone continues to generate areas of very heavy rainfall through the northern half of Queensland and northern and eastern Northern Territory there. Rainfall figures here are tending to increase as models change. But if we were to have a look at the overall grand scheme of things, over the next 8 days, you can see that there are some incredibly heavy rainfall totals being forecast now, right across the northern parts of Australia, and particularly the northern half of Queensland. We'll go on to explain why that's crept down a little bit on current model forecasts, but you can see here there's areas of anywhere from 150 to 300 to 400 possible around coastal regions here through the Gulf and down the North Queensland coast. So that is very, very welcoming news, and let's hope that this comes off. Okay, so we move over here now to the GFS model alone, which paints the next 8-day rainfall forecast totals, and you can see anywhere from Mackay is going to get a little bit. Townsville is a focus there. The monsoon trough comes down about as far as Townsville eventually. And then GFS anticipates this low to track down the New South Wales Western Queensland border. Wouldn't that be amazing? We are hoping that does happen. If we can get everywhere a bit of a drink across the top end and this low comes down in through inland parts here, western districts here in Queensland, yeah, wow, a couple of 100 mil totals there for Mount Isa. But you can see obviously around the eastern Gulf of Carpentaria, the totals are really, really high through there. In and around the southwestern Gulf of Carpentaria there falls to 550 mil. That's obviously centred around the low pressure system and potential cyclone that's developing here. And then the monsoon trough that comes down the coast here, again, bringing converging areas of heavy rain to the coast like that, all the way down through Cairns and down to Townsville over the next 8 days. So let's move on now and have a look at a couple of individual models, or this is an ensemble of models. We'll pick this up from Boxing Day. This is the GEFS model. Now, obviously, these models did have a bit more of a lock-in on the system. They've now backed off slightly, and they are scattering it between coming across here to North Queensland, hanging around here in the Gulf a lot longer, and then potentially coming down through Western Queensland. If we pick up here on Boxing Day, you can see the low pressure or cyclone is in the southeastern Gulf districts there. If we proceed on to the next day, the 27th, it's still there. It's deepening. It's right on the coast. We're pushing out still to the 27th, 28th, 29th of December, and it's still sitting in the Gulf. All right, so what would this mean? It means that there's continuing heavy rain for northern parts of Queensland. Monsoon trough, you can see, is dragged down here to about Townsville now on the 29th. We can continue to roll out, but there's no real point when models are so scattered at the moment. But that's just painting one picture that this low/potential cyclone hangs around in the Gulf for a lot longer than what others say. Obviously, these rainfall totals will start to stack up very, very high if this is the case. If we move on to now the EC model, this model is a go-to model. It tends to be very good. And we can see here on the 24th of December, Christmas Eve, that the low pressure system, tropical low, is just sitting there in the western Gulf of Carpentaria. The monsoon trough is ripping across the top. It is quite strong still, and the monsoon flow, extending to the monsoon trough across northern parts of Queensland here, edging down towards Townsville there on Christmas Eve. If we move on to Christmas Day, the low is deepening in the Gulf. Monsoon trough maintains through northern parts of Queensland. And then on Boxing Day and into the 27th, EC has this low then finally developing into a tropical cyclone of about 989, could be deeper. In the monsoon trough onshore flow continuing here for North Tropical Queensland. We can keep going out. You can see it takes the track also down along the Western Queensland border. This is the latest information, 29th and 30th. EC and the Ensemble GFS tend to want to take this low down through the Western Queensland border. Now, if this were to be the case, you can see all of this moisture being drug in across tropical moisture around the top of Australia and off the Coral Sea down into Western Queensland, and this would deliver some very healthy, welcome rainfall totals for Christmas New Year period. But it's a fair way out. We're yet to see what happens there. So let's move on to the GFS high resolution model so I can show you a few things that might be happening. Has a bit more of a visual. Again, this is subject to change now with so much variance, but it's painting a little bit of a picture. Okay, so on the 24th, Christmas Eve, you can see over here that the monsoon trough is located somewhere between, say Cairns and Cape Flattery there, and the low is still sitting over here in the Western Gulf over land. If we proceed now on to Christmas Day, you can see that the low is continuing to develop up here in the Western Gulf region. The monsoon trough is pushing further down the coast into near Cairns here now. So obviously areas of heavy rain pushing down further down the North Queensland coast, while across the western eastern peninsula here you'll have heavy rainfall off the low. We proceed now on to Boxing Day, and you can see that the GFS model has a cyclone developed there now in the Western Gulf region. All right, on Boxing Day, monsoon trough continues to be located along the North Queensland coast. So this monsoon trough extends east from this low and then out into the Coral Sea. That you can see it there. Down the coast we have onshore winds, so showers along there. What does it want to do? It wants to keep it up there on the 27th while slightly deepening. Monsoon trough shifting down towards Townsville now on Sunday the 27th. The low/cyclone is continuing to spin here in the southern Gulf. And I think that's as far as I've got it later. I can go out to Monday and have a look. And Monday it starts to move it down through the Western Queensland, Northern Territory border here on Monday the 28th. But that's getting a long way out. It's just showing you potential of what could happen with this system. Now, regarding the monsoon trough, we still do expect that, obviously, to come down the coast to about Townsville. Regardless of what this low does, we still do expect heavy rain to fall between now and Christmas, Boxing Day, and then even out to New Year's through the North Queensland region, Tropical Coast here. This does go inland as well. All right, guys, so everything's a little bit up in the air at the moment. We are certain of a fair few things, and that is that these rainfall forecast totals have been holding. They are pushing further down into Queensland now and Northern Territory, Eastern Northern Territory. We certainly hope this comes off. It'll be the best Christmas present in about 3 years for these people. So regardless of what this tropical low / cyclone does here, the rainfall forecasts are looking fan-bloody-tastic up here, I can tell you that much. Now, over here we have on our website, obviously we have the Higgins Storm Chasing Premium membership. This is where all of our high detailed, handwritten forecast maps go. Cyclone, storm, snow, frost, heat wave, the whole lot. We do very high resolution detailed maps over here and detailed text as well. It's $24.95 a year, which is a bargain. That's a subscription for a full year. That's covering significant weather right across Australia for the entire year. Can't get better than that, guys. All right, that's enough from me for today. We will continue to monitor the situation, and as things become a little bit more certain, we'll start to lock them in. Obviously, models have backed off with the timing and the intensity of the tropical cyclone to form. It is now not likely to form on Christmas Eve. It's pushing it out to around about Boxing Day. Nevertheless, there is a large amount of rainfall forecast for across here, so we can't complain about that. All right, guys, we'll produce the next forecast video as required. They will be at a minimum of 2 days, so in a couple of days' time now, so that'll be putting us out to Christmas Eve. But if things become more locked in and likely over the next 24 hours, we will certainly update these videos. For other parts of Australia, we will have a look, especially southeast Queensland, now that we do have some rain and storms coming through Christmas Day. We'll have a look at producing a forecast video for down here through southern Queensland and northern New South Wales as well. All right, cheers, guys. Stay safe.